Hello. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
In morning's lecture, we have seen the electromagnetic induction principle. Principle means how actually the phasor displacement is achieved. That we have seen means, and the torque equation is obtained. For the moment we require torque. Okay, that torque, how actually that torque is produced, that equation we have seen, and this equation is asked in exam many times. Okay, here we have seen that how these two fluxes are different, means how they are obtained, then how the eddy current will flow, then how the current and flux will interact to produce the force. Okay, then what is the direction of force we have seen, and then this is the direction of force which is opposite of each other, and the final equation for torque, that is T, is equal to K1 phi 1 m phi 2 m sin theta. This is the general equation where K1 is the constant of proportionality, and when we are taking the RMS values, okay, that time this torque equation can be written as torque is proportional to phi 1 phi 2 sin theta. Okay, now we can also write this torque equation in terms of current, because all of we know and we studied in induction motor also, that current is proportional to phi. Okay, we can also write this torque equation as torque is proportional to I1 I2 sin theta. Okay, this is the final equation. Yes. Everyone, I think, noted this. Then we have seen the static relay. So this static relay, static means stationary. Okay, means there are no any moving parts. Means here no any moving components, we can say. That's why it is called the static relay. So here we are using all static components, means there are different blocks. We have seen the block diagram, that is, it contains rectifier, relay measuring circuit, then amplifier, and output device. Okay, here you can see the input of uh, s- transmission line output is given to the secondaries of CT or PT or transducer. So here we are using these CTs or PTs for lowering the current and the voltages, and transducer is used to convert any physical quantity into the electrical quantity, right? Any type of quantity can be measured uh, by converting into electrical quantity, and it is given to the rectifier unit, because all our transmission line are AC. Okay, we are using AC supply. That's why. That is rectified first, means converted into DC, and then given to the relay measuring circuit. Okay, so this relay measuring circuit includes some comparators, detectors. Okay, here actually means when that relay is operating, when the relay operates, when there is any fault. Okay, so if any fault occurs, the relay detects that fault first. Okay, when that fault will happen, that time the value of current get increased there. There may be any type of actuating quantity, that may be voltage, that may be current, that may be frequency. So any quantity can be there, but if that quantity exceeds the pickup value, then only your relay actuates, means your relay starts operating. Okay, uh, this means that there is a fault. Okay, there is a fault. Otherwise, if the value of current or voltage or any actuating quantity is below that pickup value or up to that pickup value, then your relay will be under normal condition, means it will not act. But if any fault occurs and if the value of that quantity increases more than the pickup value, then only this relay measuring circuit will act, or relay will act here. So so here a comparator is also used, because all of you already studied this, what is mean by comparator. Okay, so here a comparator is used, so that it can compare that pickup value, okay, the value which is more than pickup value, and then it is given to the amplifier. Okay, so this amplifier, what the amplifier does, morning's lecture I told you and you already studied what amplifier does. Yes, hello, what amplifier does? Okay, so this amplifier, this amplifier amplifies the signal, means increases the value of that signal or that quantity. Okay, then it is given to the output device and then to the tripping circuit, means for the to the circuit breaker for tripping purpose. Okay, so this is the working of your static relay. We have seen this in morning's lecture. And here one more thing is we are using here transducers, means we can measure any type of quantity, means any type of physical quantity. Okay, and it is converted into analog and digital electrical signal. Okay, then the advantages. Okay, so from this point we'll start. So there are many advantages of this static relay. First is this static relay consumes very less power. Okay, so as compared to your electromechanical relays, this static relays consumes very less power. So the burden on the measuring instruments decreases and their accuracy increases. So burden means what? We'll see that actually burden means you are saying that you have some burden. Burden means some type of load. Okay, some type of load. So this burden on measuring instrument decreases. Actually, when you are using some digital devices and when you are using some electrical devices, you can compare the power. Okay, so when you are using the motors, they are single phase, maybe three phase. So the level of voltage or current is more there as compared to the electronic instruments. Okay, so for there the voltage level is very low. Okay, we are using some 5 volt, 10 volts, etc. Okay, so means what I want to say is that here the voltage levels are low, means uh, means whatever be the power supplied, consumed by this relay is also very low. So the burden on the measuring instrument decreases and their accuracy increases. So as load is decreased, accuracy increased. Now the static relays gives the quick response. Okay, means they are very fast. Okay, in operation. So in electromechanical relays, we have seen that some induction cup type of relay have very fast response. Okay, likewise, this static relay also gives very quick response, then it has long life, then high reliability and accuracy, and it is shock proof. This is the important thing. Okay, this relay is shock proof. Then the reset time of the relay is very less. So what is mean by this reset time? Reset time, the reset time of the relay is very less means what? So when your relay will actuate, okay, actuate means senses the fault and gives signal to the circuit breaker, and after at that time very high current is flowing, a very high current is flowing through that relay part. Okay, so after that means when faulty part get disconnected, after that how much time actually the relay takes, okay, for coming to the normal condition, that is the reset time. So the reset time of the relay is very less here. Now it does not have any thermal storage problems, means whatever may be the high value of current flowing in when that fault is occurring. So that much capacity of relay should be there. Okay, means it should have uh, the high thermal storage capabilities. So this relay does not have any thermal storage problems. Then the relay amplifies the input signal, which increases their sensitivity. Okay, so this relay amplifies the input signal, means when its value is increased, okay, up to the measurable value, that time its sensitivity get increased. The chance of unwanted tripping is less in this relay. Okay, means when actually we are using electromechanical relays, that time we are using this for mm, means if there are more than two circuit breakers in the same zone are there, then at the same time uh, two circuit breakers operates there. So here means chance of unwanted tripping, means actually one circuit breaker should be operated, instead of that one more get operated. So this unwanted tripping is less in this type of relay. Then the static relay can easily operate in earthquake prone areas because they have high resistance to shock. Okay, so we can use this type of relay, that is the static relays, in earthquake prone areas. Okay, means where frequent earthquakes are happening there, we can use this because they have high resistance to shock. Okay, so these all are the advantages. Then the next is the limitations. So limitations, or we can say the disadvantages of this static relays. So the components used by static relay are very sensitive to the electrostatic discharges. Okay, electrostatic discharge means sudden there is what we can say, sudden there is mm, some electrons or some charges are suddenly discharged, that is called the electrostatic discharge. Okay, so here uh, the components used by relay are very sensitive to the electrostatic discharges. So special maintenance is provided here. Now the relay is easily affected by high voltage surges. Okay, so if surges means what? If there is sudden increase in something, so that may be voltage, that may be current. So this relay is easily affected by the high voltage surges. Okay, and high voltage surges means if there is sudden increase in the voltage, this relay get affected. Now this precaution should be taken for avoiding the damages through voltage spikes. Okay, so we have to take the precaution. Then the working of the relay depends upon the electrical components. Okay, working of this relay depends upon electrical components, means we are using here transducers, then rectifiers, then relay measuring circuit is there, means means some comparators are there. Okay, then amplifier is there. So working depends on the electrical components. The relay has less overloading capacity. Okay, means if the load increases, okay, if the load increases, then also current is maximum current will start flowing. Okay, so they cannot handle such type of currents. Okay, the overloading currents means they have less overloading capacity. Then the static relay is more costly as compared to electromagnetic relays. Okay, uh, because we are using there some electronic components and relay rectifying unit is there, so that is its cost also increases. And the construction of relay is easily affected by the surrounding interference. Okay, means if there is any change in the surrounding, so that is um, that affects on this relay construction. Okay, so uh, that's why these static relays have advantages and also limitations. That's why we are still using the electromagnetic relays, because they are very old, but still due to their high strength and low cost also they are still preferred. Okay, electromagnetic relays, but many modifications are done. So nowadays microprocessor based relays are used, and these are the digital relays. They are very easy to operate, they have very fast operation, so there are many advantages of such relays. This static relay also have faster operation than the electromagnetic relays. They have some advantages and disadvantages also. Okay, this is our static relay. Then, so everyone got this static relay? Hello, समजले का सगळ्यांना? Okay. I hope you understood this. After that, we'll see the next point, that is city burden. Okay, before that, we'll see first the instrument transformers. So, what is meant by this instrument transformer? First, I want to know from your side. So, you already studied this instrument transformers in electrical measurement. So, what is mean by this instrument transformers? What is mean by these instrument transformers? Which are those? Yes, hello? Instrument transformers.
NPT.
Yes, the instrument transformers are CTs and PTs, correct. So these are the current transformers, and potential transformers or voltage transformers. Then why these are used? Why these CTs and PTs are used? Hello? Why these CTs and PTs are used? Yes. Anyone? Sakshi Kale? Samir Kokne? Yes, anyone? Why CTs and PTs are used? Kiran, after so many days. Kiran, present or not? Okay, Shubham, why these CTs and PTs are used? Anyone else? Okay. No one knows about CTs and PTs. Okay, I'll explain that. So first, I'll tell you that this CT means current transformer and PT means potential transformer, or you can also call it as voltage transformer. Means these two are different transformers, and why these are used? Because its construction means same like your transformer, only the difference is that these two are the step down transformers. First, remember, these two transformers are step down transformer. These are used for lowering of both voltage and current. For lowering of current, the current transformer is used, and for lowering of potential or voltage, the potential transformer is used. Okay. Now, why these are used? Because our transmission line voltage is very high. Okay, so for your home purpose, we are using a single phase supply. But when you are transmitting that voltage from the generating station to the distribution line, that time that voltage is very high. Okay, so that is increased up to maximum. We can increase up to 765 kilovolt. Okay, so such transmission lines are also there. So when we are using such very high voltages, so just tell me, can we measure that voltage by any instrument? Yes, can we measure such voltages by any instrument? So if we are considering a 220 kV transmission line, suppose from near your home also there may be one transmission line. Okay, so if it is a 220 kV, then can we measure that voltage, that much current? Yes, anyone? Is any instrument available there? Sanskruti? Sanskruti? Swapnali?
Yes, madam.
Yes, just tell me. So, the transmission line voltage and current is very high, right? So, if I consider a 220 kV transmission line, so can we measure that much voltage by any instrument or by any device? Is that voltage measurable? Yes or no? Huh? Can you tell me why we are using these CTs and PTs? Okay. Yes, Sangeeta told that by using CTPT, we can measure these voltages and current. So you're right. That's why. So when this transmission line voltage and current is very high, so it cannot be measured by such a simple instrument. So for that purpose, we require this current transformers and potential transformers. Okay, because what these two does, lowers the voltage and current, okay, to the measurable value. So when you are using this current transformer, that time that current transformer decreases the current to the 5 ampere only, okay, means its primary current is more, but the secondary winding current is very low, that is up to 5 ampere. And when you are using the potential transformers, that time also its primary current is very high, okay, which is means that potential transformer is also connected to the transmission line or distribution line. So whatever be that voltage is decreased by using this potential transformer, mm, or voltage transformer, up to 110 volt only, means these voltages are measurable, means we can measure that value, okay. So from that we can calculate the transmission line voltages and current. So for this purpose these instrument transformers are used, okay. So here, uh, is screen clearly visible? Okay. Now here, you can see the diagrams. This used in AC system for measurement of electrical quantities. Okay. Then used with protective relays for protection of power system. So we have seen the main circuit diagram of the protective relays. So in which first the current transformer is used, or we can also use the potential transformer as per the actuating quantity of the relay, okay. Then basic function is to step down the AC system voltage and current, okay. So here, you can see first one is the potential transformer here. This is the high voltage. You can zoom the slide and see, this is the high voltage. First it is high voltage, then uh, potential transformer is there. Now just tell me, hello everyone, just tell me, so if I want to measure the voltage, okay, so if I want to measure the voltage, then the voltmeter should be connected in series, yeah, in parallel. Very basic question.
Parallel.
Parallel, correct, good. So here we are measuring potential, therefore it is connected in parallel. Then uh, these two are the transmission lines, and in between that the load is connected, okay, and this potential transformer is there. So this primary is connected to very high voltage, and this secondary is having very low voltage. Now if this is a potential transformer, then primary should have more windings, as they are, and the value of primary voltage is very high, right? And uh, the secondary windings are very low, means number of turns are less, as the secondary voltage is less, because we know the transformation ratio, right? So while drawing the diagrams, okay, if there is offline exam, and while drawing diagrams, remember this, okay. So according to transformation ratio, you studied. So what is the transformation ratio? Transformation ratio in transformer. Okay, I'll tell you. N2 by N1 is equal to V2 by V1 is equal to I1 by I2. Means number of turns are directly proportional to voltage, but inversely proportional to current. Okay, so if the number of turns are less, the voltage is less. Okay, so here and the number of turns of secondary winding are less. Okay, so that the voltage obtained will be less there. So similarly here the current transformer is shown. So you can see this is the so this first is